Good morning, students. Today we are going to study a new chapter in a new book. This is called Snapshots. The name of the chapter 1 is The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, and it is written by William Saroyan. So, dear students, first of all, let us have an introduction of the lesson The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse is written by William Saroyan. The story is about two Armenian boys, Aram and Morid, in Hindi Murad, okay, who belong to the Garoglalian family. Their tribe is known for their honesty. They are poor and can hardly earn money for food. They both long to ride a horse. Morid had stolen a horse from a farmer a month ago. One early morning, he brought it to the window of Aram and asked him to come along for a ride. They rode the horse for many days. When Aram gets to know the horse is stolen, he gets shocked but discounts the stealing in his mind. One day, the owner of the horse, John Byro, comes to his house to explain about his missing horse to Uncle Khosrow. One day, on their way back to hide the horse on the deserted vineyard, they meet the owner and feel guilty at the end. The next morning, they returned the horse back to the owner's barn. Dear students, first of all, let us have the summary in order to understand the chapter in a better way. The summary of the lesson, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, is Aram and Morid were two poor boys who belonged to the Armenian Garuglanian family, who were known for their honesty since the 11th century. One early morning, when Aram was asleep and was enjoying pleasant dreams, his cousin Morid showed up to his window with a beautiful white horse. Aram couldn't believe it and was thinking it was a dream, but since there was a little light outside, he knew this for sure that this horse was real. As they were poverty stricken, he couldn't believe that the horse was their own. He was trying to figure out if the horse had been stolen by his cousin. Morid had come to invite him for a ride along. He asked him to make it quick before everyone in the world wakes up. Aram wore his clothes and jumped out of the window and sat behind Morid on the horse. They rode on the old countryside of the area where they lived, Walnut Avenue. This is the name of the place. After some time, Morid asked him to get off as he wanted to ride the horse alone. Aram asked him if he could also ride the horse alone, just like him, to which Morid said, "They will see," as it was for his own safety. He got to know that Morid had stolen the horse a month ago and was riding it every morning. When Aram got his chance of a ride, the horse took him to the vineyard and threw him off and ran away. After searching for 30 minutes, Mored finally managed to find the horse and they hid him in a deserted vineyard that had some oats and alfalfa. Mored had a way with everything, especially horses. He knew how to handle every type of animal and also humans. Every morning for 2 weeks, they would take the horse for a ride and then hide it again. One day, John Byro came to Aram's house to talk to his uncle Khosrow, who was an irritated and loud man who shouted at almost everything. Byro, full name is John Byro, told him about his missing horse whom he bought at $60. For 1 month he couldn't find it and he walked for 10 miles to come to their house. Khosrow roared means here shouted at him and told him it's no harm, pay no attention to it. So this was his favorite phrase. John Byro became irritated by his attitude and he went away. Arab went to Moraid and told him about the missing horse of Byro and asked him not to return the horse until he learns to ride it. Moraid told him that it would take 1 year for him to learn to ride the horse. He further angrily added that they could not be thieves as their tribe is known for honesty and said that they would return the horse after 6 months. One day, on their way back to hide the horse to the hidden spot, they met John Byro, who was going back to the town. He talked to them and carefully examined the horse. He admitted that the horse looked exactly like the one he had, but since he knew his parents and the honesty of their family, he didn't believe that they had his missing horse. He assumed it was a twin horse. Moraid managed to let Byro assume that it was not his horse, so they went away. The next morning, both of them took the horse back to Byro's vineyard and put it in the barn. The dogs followed them all along quietly and they left the place. The same afternoon, John Byro came back to his house to tell his mother about his horse who had come back. He was happy and was astonished means here surprised to see the horse's better temper and it was stronger than ever. Uncle Khosrow again roared, "Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it." So, this is the summary of the chapter, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. Dear students, let us have the lesson and its explanation line by line in a very simple way. So, first of all, the lines from the textbook and then some difficult words and their meanings. After that, explanation in English. Okay. One day back there in good old days when I was 9 and the world was full of every imaginable kind of magnificence and life was still a delightful and mysterious dream, my cousin Moraid, who was considered crazy by everybody who knew him except me, came to my house at 4 in the morning and who woke me tapping on the window of my room. Aram, he said. Tapping means here knocking. I jumped out of bed and looked out of the window. I couldn't believe what I saw. It wasn't morning yet, but it was summer and with daybreak means here early morning, dawn, not many minutes around the corner of the world, it was light enough for me to know I wasn't dreaming. Class, magnificence means here extremely beautiful. Daybreak means dawn, means early morning. Explanation of the above passage is one day 9-year-old Aram was asleep and was in a world of extremely beautiful imagination. His life was pleasant and kind of in a mysterious dream. His cousin Moraid showed up on the window of his room at 4 means at 4 o'clock in the morning. He called Aram, who jumped out of his bed and still couldn't believe what he saw out of the window. It was dawn and there was light enough outside to make him see outside, what made him believe he wasn't dreaming. Further lines from the textbook are, my cousin Moraid was sitting on a beautiful white horse. I stuck my head out of the window and rubbed my eyes. Yes, rubbed means that he wanted to make it clear whether he was dreaming or not. So, yes, he said in Armenian. Armenian here is a tribal language. It's a horse. You are not dreaming. Make it quick if you want to ride. I knew my cousin Morid enjoyed being alive more than anybody else who had ever fallen into the world by mistake, but this was more than even I could believe. In the first place, my earliest memories had been memories of horses, and my first longings had been longings to ride. This was the wonderful part. So, dear students, Armenian means here official language of Armenia branch. Longing means an aching desire. It means passion, strong desire. Dear students, the explanation of the above passage is Mored was sitting on a white horse. Aram rubbed his eyes and stuck out his head out of the window. Mored assured him it was not a dream. He asked if he wanted a ride. He must make it quick. Morid was the type of person who enjoyed being alive, but he couldn't believe that he was seeing a horse in front of him. Aram's earliest memory was of horses, and he always wanted to ride one. This was the wonderful part that he was actually going to ride a horse for real. In the second place, we were poor. This was the part that wouldn't permit me to believe what I saw. We were poor, we had no money, our whole tribe was poverty stricken. Every branch of the Garuglanian family was living in the most amazing and comical poverty in the world. Nobody could understand where we ever got money enough to keep us with food in our bellies. Bellies means stomach. Not even the old men of the family. Most important of all, though we were famous for our honesty, we had been famous for our honesty for something like 11 centuries. Even when we had been the wealthiest family in what we like to think was the world, we were proud first, honest next, and after that we believed in right and wrong. None of us would take advantage of anybody in the world, let alone steal. Comical means here funny. Garuglanian means an Armenian tribe. Explanation of the above passage is Aram's family was poor and had no money, so it was difficult for him to believe in what he saw outside his house. He belonged to the Garuglanian family that was strictly and funnily in poverty. They didn't even know how they managed to get food for themselves every day. Although his tribe was poor, they were known for their honesty for 11 centuries. They were honest, proud, and always believed in right and wrong. No one from their family could ever steal anything or would take advantage of anyone in the world. So, dear students, further lines from the textbook are consequently means finally. Even though I could see the horse so magnificent, magnificent means very beautiful, even though I could smell it, so there is a smell of the horse, so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing, so exciting, I couldn't believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin Murad or with me or with any of the other members of our family. Asleep or awake, because I knew my cousin Murad couldn't have bought the horse, and if he couldn't have bought it, he must have stolen it, and I refused to believe he had stolen it. No member of the Gargulin family could be a thief. I stared first at my cousin, stared means looked at intently, and then at the horse. There was a pious stillness. Pious means here religious, holy, and humor in each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other frightened me. Consequently means as a result, pious means here religious. Explanation of the above passage is Aaron was so excited that he was seeing a horse that was so pleasant and beautiful. He could smell it and hear it breathing, and still couldn't believe that Moraid or anyone in the family could afford a horse. He was thinking if Moraid had stolen the horse, but he didn't believe it, as he thought no one in his family could be a thief. He stared at his cousin and then at the horse. There was a religious motionlessness and wittiness in both Moraid and the horse, as one charmed him and the other scared him. So, dear students, let us have only the explanations here till now, and further explanations will be made in the next lecture tomorrow onwards. Thank you, students.